Hi everyone, it's Jake. I hope you're enjoying these tutorials and getting a good feel for using Onshape. For this tutorial, we will be going back to the first part that we designed. Please use this object. This was the rectangular prism that had a hole directly in the center. As you can see here, we are going to start off with what is called an isometric view. So, do you remember how we were looking at the front view, top view, and right view in the first video? This is called an isometric view. For this lesson, please fill out the question set and complete the steps that I'm going to show in this video on your model. At the end, your model should look exactly like mine does. The purpose of this video is to show you different types of features that are available in Onshape. First, let's start off with slots. The first type of slot is called a blind slot. We are going to create a blind spot from one end to the other. So from this end to this end. Awesome. Now, we are going to change our view to the top view. This is so we can easily see where the slot is going to go. Does anyone remember how to do this? If you don't, it's okay. To do this, you're going to right-click on the top view, then you're going to go down to View Normal To. And then you'll see that you basically see exactly right there. Now we're simply going to select the top of this, and then we're going to click on Sketch. This changes it so you have different features that you can see over here. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to change slots so that way you can do two different types of slots. One by using the rectangle tool and the other by using the line tool. Both tools are great and they work the exact same way, but the line tool might be good if you're not making a rectangular slot. Perfect. Now we're going to go over here and we're going to start off with the corner rectangle tool. Does everyone see the perpendicular line right below my cursor? You can see it kind of moving. I don't want to move my cursor too much because it'll go away. But does everyone see that perpendicular line right there in the box? That is a great line because that shows you that your work is going to coincide with the other piece. So in other words, right now we're creating a rectangle, but we're drawing on top of a rectangular prism. What this means is that the rectangle that we're going to draw right now is going to coincide or be the exact start at the same point on the rectangle, which in this case is the edge, as the rectangular prism. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to click right there, and then we're going to go down to the next one, right where you see it light up in orange and you see the other perpendicular line. Then just release, and then you're going to see a dimension up there. Now we're going to switch to the dimension tool, and we're going to change the dimensions. One quick thing I'm going to add before we dimension it is that it's really easy to switch the lines of the tools. You can simply click on the line from the rectangle and you can make it as long or as wide as you want. But I prefer to use the actual dimension tool to be more accurate. So in this case, we're going to go and I'm going to make a 1/4 inch. So that's 0.25 inches. Oh, there we go. I made it 0.25 inches. And then I'm actually going to move this over. So once again, I could either take this and I could move it, or because you'll notice that it's not moving, that's because it's dimensioned. Or you could just do the dimension tool like I did, which I recommend. So anyway, now we're going to go over and we're going to dimension this from here to the edge of the rectangle. So to do this, you're going to click the one line, and then we're going to click the other line. Now for this, I'm going to try and bring it as close to the edge as I can. So right now, I'm going to make it 0.1 inches. So that way it brings it right to the edge over there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the rectangle with the line tool. So click on the line tool at the top, or use L if you use the keyboard shortcuts. And then we're going to start at the top. So we're going to go to where you see the orange line at the top and the perpendicular line in the box below it. That means that it's going to coincide just like we did with the square and the rectangle. So next we're going to just click on it once, and then drag your mouse without clicking down. You'll notice that if you want a straight line, you'll see that there's yellow dotted lines that are there. If you don't want a straight line, you'll see how it turns blue, and then it'll snap back to yellow if you want a straight line. For this, we want the straight line, so we're going to go all the way down to the bottom until we see that coincided little tag that's also the parallel little box that I was showing you, or perpendicular, not parallel, sorry. perpendicular box, and then you'll see at the bottom with the orange, you're going to just click once, and then you're going to go over, do the same thing, click, go up, do the same thing, click. We're just going to make a narrow, skinny little rectangle, go over and click. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to press escape to get out of the line menu, and you'll notice that you can do the same thing you were doing with the rectangle by making it smaller or bigger, but in this case what we're going to do is we're going to make it with the dimension tool just like we did with the rectangle. Now I want my rectangle, I don't know, 0.4 inches will make it. So 0.4 inches. And then you'll see that it'll automatically dimension. So from here, we're going to click out of the dimension tab, and then we're going to go over here, and what we want to do is we want to take our rectangle and we want it exactly in the center of this circle. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to click on these construction lines. So what construction lines are they're basically just dotted lines that you see, and they don't have anything to do with the sketch or the product. You won't see them, they're just there to help you align things. So click on the construction lines, and then you're going to click back on the line tool. Now because we want it directly in the center over here, we want to find the center of this rectangle over here. So to do this, we're going to go all the way to the top, and do you notice how the top lines up or lights up with orange just on that one part of the rectangle? Then we're going to try and go to the center, just mouse over there, and you'll see that there's an orange box that pops up. That's where your center is going to be. So just click right there, and then go down, and you'll notice that there's still those yellow dotted lines, and then just keep going down, make sure the lines are yellow, and then you're going to see the second point right there. So that's the orange square. You're going to click there, and there you go. There's your center point. Now we're just going to press escape, and then you'll see that you can go. Next, we're going to try and make this line up directly in the center of this circle over here. So to do that, we're going to go up here to where you see the coincident menu. You're going to click on that. Then you're going to click on the line, and you're going to click on the circle. And then you'll see that they'll automatically go over just like that. So it's very simple. So that basically covers how you make the lines. To extrude these, it's very similar to how we extruded or cut the other objects in the holes before. We're going to go over to the extrude menu over here, or you can press Shift E if you would like to use the keyboard shortcut. Click on it, and then I'm actually going to go and move the model down so you can see. So right now you'll notice how we're on add again. Now we don't want to be on add, we actually want to remove because we want to make a slot. So right now you'll notice that I'm set to 1 inch. I'm just going to change this to 0.1 inches just to show you how to make a slot. So you'll see that it's actually going downward. So as you can see, it's cutting downward. So we're going to press the check mark, and then you'll notice how if I go down here, now there's holes cut out, which is great. That's exactly what we wanted. So that basically is how we create a slot. Now there's different types of slots though, and now we're going to focus on how to create a dovetail slot. Now dovetail slots are a little bit different than your normal slots that we have over here. These are very simple because they're just rectangles. A dovetail slot is a little bit different. So to do that, I'm going to go back up, and we're actually going to use a different plane. So I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to make sure that I can use the bottom. So we want a front view this time. So this time we're going to click on this side of it, then we're going to go sketch, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use our line tool. Now we're just going to make a very rough sketch over here just to make sure that we can do it. So we're going to click right here, make sure it's coincided with the top, and you'll know that once again by seeing the orange highlighted line at the top or the perpendicular line. Click there, then you're going to go just make a simple line. Make sure this one needs to be straight, so make sure that you see the yellow dotted line right there. Click again, and then just click again. Now don't worry if this doesn't look straight or anything, because we're going to fix it just like we did with the rectangle and the circles and everything we have in the previous tutorials. So now we're just going to press escape to get out of it, and then we're going to go and dimension it. So to dimension it, we're just going to do very simple dimensions because I want to make sure that you get the point over here and how we can do the angled lines. So let me show you that again. Right now we haven't done angled dimensions, so I'm going to show you how to do those right now. So basically to do an angled dimension is the same way that you would do a normal dimension. So you're just going to click on the line, and then you're going to click on the other line that you want to angle, and then you have your angle right there. So you're just going to click OK. I'm not going to change it yet because I want to make sure that both of them are equal. So then we're going to do the other side by going there and clicking anywhere on the other line, and then just click, and then we have that. And then another line that I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the bottom over here to the top over here. And then I'm just going to click out of it, and then we're going to go back and we'll fix it in a second. So in order, I've already done the math to make sure that you're going to have an equal and symmetrical piece, so don't worry about that. So right now we're going to do 60 degrees on one side. We're going to do 60 degrees on the other. And then we're going to do, over here, we're going to do 0.2 inches. Now you can see it's pretty symmetrical, but now I want to say, how do we get from this point to this point? Because I want it to be exactly, I don't know, let's make it 1 inch just for fun. We'll make it 1 inch from the center over here to 1 inch to the center of this shape that we've created over here. So to do that, we're going to use construction lines again. So I'm going to click out of the dimension, and then I'm going to make a construction line. Now, here's the biggest thing about the construction lines, is you'll notice that I didn't make this closed at the top. If you want to do construction lines, you're going to have to make it a whole shape. So I'm just going to go and add one more line at the top over there, so that way we have a closed shape right there. There we go. So now I'm going to select construction line, and then I'm going to select the line tool. So now you see, if we go over here, we're going to try and go to the center, and you'll see the same square that popped up when we did it with the other line tool. So then just click on the square, and then you'll go down. Once again, make sure it's a straight line by seeing the yellow dotted lines, and go down to the bottom. Now there you have your construction line. Just press escape to get rid of the rest. And then now we also want a construction point right here, right? Because we want to make sure that we can go from here to here. So just as you remembered with the old model with the actual circle, we had a construction point, not a line, just a point in there. So we're going to create a point over here. Now points are helpful for objects like this where we just want a center point. As you can see, we already have a center point, so we're good for now. But in the future, you could either make a point or a line over here. Both are totally acceptable and they'll serve the same purpose. So now we're going to go back to the dimension tool, and we're going to click here, and then we're going to click anywhere on the construction line, and you'll see that we're at 0.796942 inches away from that center. So we said we wanted to make it 1 inch, so we're just going to click a 1, and then there you go. So then we're done with that. So now we want to extrude it through, just like a normal saw like these. Now this is different because we're extruding from the side. The other ones we extruded downward. This one we're extruding towards the back. So we're at a front view right now, so we want to extrude from front to back. So to do that, we're going to go to the extrude over here. Then we're going to see we have blind, symmetric, up to next, or through all. Through all is what we want because we want to go all the way through the object. And then we don't have to worry about how far we go. And then you'll notice that we have add selected. You're going to want remove selected because we're going to want to make a hole. And then you'll see that it'll change shades over here. Then just click done. And then there you go. This is a dovetail slot, so basically you could create an object to go through here and then you could lock it in here. But this is just basically a simple part to show you the different types of slots you can do, holes you can do, and how you can extrude. If you have any other questions, then please let me know, but we will be coming back to this part in the future, so don't get rid of it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to do slots, and please remember to do this to your model as well as fill out the question set. Thank you so much. Have a great day.